Coming to you live from the Elliott Avenue Studios, this is The Barber Shop. Brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail, the official auto detail provider of the Seattle Seahawks. And by the Trufant Family Foundation, an organization aimed at improving the community one kid at a time. With Marcus Trufant, here's T. Holla.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's The Barber Shop coming at you live once again from the iHeart Studios in Seattle. It's your man, T. Holla.
And yes, what up? It's Marcus Trufant.
And Marcus Trufant is representing tonight, sporting his Washington State Cougars hat. I'm going to ask him about that in a second because it's been a while since I've seen you repping some of that Cougar stuff, man. But it's all good. I'm going to talk to you about it here in a second.
Let's do it, man. I'm cool through and through. You know that, T.
I do know that, man.
You know that.
I do know that. I don't think there is well, that's another subject we may touch on tonight. I was going to say, and I always say it, I don't know if there's any more decorated Cougar athlete in history than yourself. And I'm not saying that just because you're here. But, you know, you did your thing, it was.
Much appreciated, T. I know it's a couple guys out there.
It's not too many.
Out there. Shout out to Drew Bledsoe. Shout out to people like Drew Bledsoe. And so, you know what I'm saying? Got some young
Drew
bucks.
Bledsoe is definitely one.
You know what I'm saying? Got Mr. Buchanan as of late. The man that came out of Washington State in the first round. So, it's a couple of us out there, man.
And, I really didn't want to get into this subject tonight.
Yeah, you did.
I really didn't.
Yeah, you
did.
Swear I
didn't. I swear I didn't. Since we are talking about famous Cougars and whatnot, there has been a famous Cougar in the news recently. He's really probably more infamous than he is famous. But we're going to talk about him anyways for a second. Since you want to bring up the famous Cougars, I was going to leave it just
I'm bringing up old stuff, T.
We're going to bring up old stuff,
right.
But it's kind of new. And again, I didn't want to bring this up. First of all, shout out to everybody that tuned in this week. We appreciate you for being here every single week at the same time at the same place, supporting the barbershop and whatnot. But since Marcus wanted to bring up famous Cougars, Ryan Leaf has made his way into the news this past weekend. I'm not sure if you heard about it or not, but he got a good gig, man. He got a hell of a gig. He's going to be a college game day analyst for ESPN college football this year. So that's a pretty big deal, especially for a guy that's coming from the depths of which he had fallen to. He had gotten into a lot of trouble with substance abuse, had been arrested numerous times, lost several coaching positions behind it. And a lot of people had, shit canned him. They had,
right.
Had thrown him to the wind. And he got another opportunity to do his thing. What do you think about your fellow alumni, Ryan Leaf?
Man, all you can do, of course, in his position, all you can do is be thankful. I know there's probably several people out there that are on the other side thinking, okay, this guy has been on the negative side of things far too long to get a second chance. It's people that get blackballed and kicked to the side for a lot worse and never see the light of day or get an opportunity like this. So I'm in the middle as usual, but it's just one of those things. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things, though. And I think as a culture and, as black folks, we could learn a little bit from this.
And what would be the lesson that we as black people could learn?
I would say you got to take care of your people. Sometimes, things may go bad or they may be on the wrong side of things and they may even do you wrong at times. But, if you see them as family or you see them as your people, it's always going to be somebody that's going to turn it around and be able to do right. So I always try to take everything as a learning experience, man, and try to grow from it. And, so if you done me wrong – man, I might still be here with open arms.
Maybe, but maybe not. Here's the thing I'll say about this Ryan Leaf, and I'm going to get off it. I definitely did not intend to go there today. But, I say kudos to Ryan for getting on the straight and narrow, getting clean, trying to get his life together. Anybody that could, rise up from the depths of that kind of addiction, an opiate addiction, where he was actually at one point, he had gotten a chance to coach in college, football. And he was stealing meds from the players.
That's tough.
And he was breaking into neighbors' homes, and he had spent time in penitentiaries numerous times. And to bounce back from that and to redeem yourself, that should be applauded. On the flip side of that is you have other people who are out here who don't get those kind of chances. And we're not just talking second chances. We're talking multiple chances, 8, 9, 10 chances to come back and redeem yourself. Michael Vick didn't get a chance at all to really come redeem himself. He's still kind of disappeared and shunned, and people do not take him seriously. He does not get these kind of opportunities. And you have people who have never done anything at all in life that don't get these opportunities that might have the same skill level, the same talent level as Ryan Leaf when it comes to being an on-air analyst. There are a lot of African-American people right here in this city that don't get an opportunity.
You don't say, T.
To be on the air.
You don't say.
I'm not pointing any fingers at anybody, but I'm just saying.
Hey, man, it's one of them things. And what I say, it's just.
I know. It's tough. It's a tough call.
And it's crazy. And the society we live in now is about shock value.
Yeah.
So they want people to talk about it. Man, he's been down in the dumps, and now look at him. And I can't believe they giving him a second chance and all this kind of stuff. So that's where we at, Tia. So I'm I can say I'm kind of surprised on one side, but I'm not on the other.
Yeah. At the end of the day, again, I hope he succeeds. I hope the best for him, and I just hope that he makes the most of this opportunity. And I hope that some of these, these networks that are out there that might be listening, give some people some second chances. Maybe give some people some first chances. You never know what might happen out there. You give a person a shot. And the reason, one of the reasons why we're talking about this and things like this is because we are at the dead time in sports, man. There is no basketball. There's no football. There's the baseball in this city is not good. I mean, this time of year right now, True.
Whatever happened to fun? God, I'm so bored I could die.
It's just boring.
I'm so bored I could die.
So bored I could die, man. We just got to find stuff to talk about, and we got to find things to do. Speaking of which, you had some cool stuff to do over the past couple of weeks. You've been on the road, man. You took the family down to Disney.
I took the family down to Disney. We started, first we went to Cali, to the tippy top of Cali. We started out in Weed, California.
Where?
Weed.
Oh.
Weed. Sticky.
Wonder what they do in Weed, California.
Weed, California, man. It's a nice little place, almost like a little truck stop, man. It's a nice little town, but
they city a truck stop.
Oh, hell no! Hell no!
That's where my wife's father's family is from. A lot of them is still over there. So that was a great little stay, man. We stayed there for about 3 or 4 days, and then we rented the old church van, drove down to Sacramento.
Oh.
So that was about a 4-hour drive, and then flew into Anaheim.
Okay.
And got our Disney on, man. And we did that, had my walking shoes on. For those who don't know, I recently just tore my Achilles.
The Achilles.
Yeah, so I'm back in action now, man. I've been walking around. I've been doing good. But it was a great, man. It got our little fast passes, didn't have to wait long for rides, and made it happen. And, I know all of the world has seen the foolishness that went on down in Disney, right?
That's the other thing. That's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about.
We was down there. I didn't see it.
You were there in the park at the same time around?
Yep. I was there the same little week.
So to set the stage for all of you listeners who might not know and haven't been paying attention to social media, there was this giant brawl, like a brawl like none other that took place in Disneyland. Like, first of all, I have to, I'm baffled how you can get that angry in the happiest place on earth. To be that mad, this one dude, it was a big dude, man.
Yeah,
and he just, I don't know the background about what happened. I think they
got
said somebody spit.
Man, I was down in Cali. I got a little scoop.
Okay.
Of course, man, I'm talking to Uber drivers. I'm talking to different people that think they know the scoop. So you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna say I ain't the one to gossip, but you ain't heard this from me.
Tell us about it. What happened?
So they say is the big dude. I think he had a little top bun or whatever. I think he had a little man bun right on the video.
Okay. Yeah.
So they say that he was there with his wife.
Okay.
But they say his girlfriend was there too.
Oh, so that's what it was.
Allegedly, that's what they say. So I guess the funk started there, and the spitting, and then you got moms on the little scooter, and I guess she get knocked over. His punches thrown. His females getting hit in the face.
The dude is socking the
by
girl
dudes,
in the face.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no!
And then another dude tried to jump in, break it up, and this is what threw me off. T at the end, they say that the majority of all these people that was fighting was family.
That's insane, bro.
They said the majority of these people was all family. Nobody pressed charges afterwards, and nobody ain't want to say nothing. I don't know nothing. I don't know, and
Wasn't me.
foolish.
Bro, listen, so I'm looking at it, man. First of all, I seen the fisticuffs, and I seen the dude socking the girl, and I was like, come on, man. Of all the things you can do, that's one thing you should never, ever do. And you know you're in Disneyland. First of all, there's lots of kids around, families enjoying themselves, holiday, summer holiday, having a good time. You know you're going to be on camera.
Yeah.
Why would you go out like that? And then like I said, they just fighting each other. And then the dude, like, he fight and then leave and then come back and fight some more. And then he was like, I don't care if I go to jail.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go to jail. Obviously, he wasn't ready to go to jail.
He was ready. He was ready. That was foolish. His cameras everywhere. And then the thing that got me is nowadays everybody want to get the video.
Right.
I'm not one for breaking up fights either because you never know.
You never know what's going to happen.
I done seen a couple people try to break up a fight and they end up getting in the fight and they end up getting whooped, right? Because
I've
you know what I'm
seen it
saying?
too.
Because tensions is high. But so but it's crazy that didn't nobody really step in to try to get him off
They
the
was
females.
Scared. They was scared. He was a big dude.
He was a big
looked,
dude.
He looked like a big dude on camera, but he didn't look like he had no squabs though. He didn't have no squabs.
No hands.
He had no hand. His hand game was zilch, zero, nada. Somebody, if anybody, you know what's crazy though, because you never know these days, man. You can see these little itty bitty guys out there, right, and they look like you could toss them up. Like for instance, and this is no disrespect, and if he's listening, he knows what's up. Demetrius. Mighty Mouse. Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
If you seen him out in public, if you seen him out in Disneyland and he spit in your face, you would be like, I'm about to whoop this dude, man. I'm about to whoop the hell out of this dude. And he will make light work of you in an instance. Like, it'll be a wrap. You won't even know what hit you. And you probably be choked out and your face will be busted up.
Tapping out. You never know these days.
Tap out.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. You never know who you scrapping with out there. So be careful, y'all out there. That was the crazy thing that happened in Disneyland. The other thing, there's a few things I wanted to ask you about the Disneyland trip because you guys move as a powerful unit. The True Font family is deep. How is that? I mean, I know you guys did it when they were young kids going back and forth. Has the trip changed? Has the dynamic changed? Is it the same movements, moving people around?
No, it's better now, man. It's better. We got 2 young ones that are 4 and 5. So shout out to Cash Man and Killer Cass. So you know what I'm saying, Cassidy. But they are really the only 2 that we have to worry about. Our other. My oldest is 13. I got a 10-year-old and a just turned 9-year-old this past July 12th. So
that's right. Happy
those
birthday.
3, they kind of handle business and they kind of are almost like second parents.
Right. There you go.
So you know what I'm saying? We could leave them here at the pool and we could say, I need you to watch your brother and sister. I'm going to turn my back and me and my wife are going to go get some food and maybe some adult beverages. So we need y'all to hear.
Allegedly.
Just for a couple minutes. We'll be right back. And then and even stuff like on the airplane, I need you to watch your brother and sister. And we, of course, we cheat and we bring the iPads and the phones and all that.
That's not cheating. That's par for the course these days.
And those is parents too.
Yes.
The iPad and the phone is like babysitter sometimes.
Right.
I know that sounds like bad parenting.
No, but it's the truth, man. If you're going to be on a captive audience inside of an airplane for 2.5 hours, you got to give them something because you don't want to, A, annoy yourself,
right?
And B, you don't want to be a disruption to other people on the plane because if somebody says something to your kid, now you got to fight on the plane and then you in handcuffs and you in like the whatever that customs and you can't go nowhere.
Then you like Disney.
Yeah, you like Disney, right?
Then you like Disney. And we do bring help sometimes too.
Right, right. So here's the other thing about the last thing I wanted to talk about with that Disney trip. And again, understanding that the True Font family is really a movement. Like when you guys are in motion, it is a sight to behold. And I say that because you're way down in Disneyland, right? I almost forgot you had went to Disneyland, right? And then I'm getting reports from Anaheim, from Orange County, from Disneyland, like, hey, we ran into the True Fonts and we stopped and talked to him, this, that, and the third. I'm like, how you just run into the Truth? Like people that, like, I don't think that we know mutually, so that you saw down there, for one, in Disneyland.
Right.
And then for 2, I get a call, hey, I just had the Trufants on my airplane, a flight attendant that I know.
Yeah.
When you on the way back, I'm like, how in the hell?
That's because you so famous, T.
No, man. It has
Everybody
nothing-
I run into, I'm thinking they'd be like, hey, I remember when you played, and True, I'm a fan of yours from Washington State. They'd be like, nah, I know T. Holla. True.
Hell no, hell no.
You tell them the lies to the
I know
people.
your boy T, and he is awesome. So I just want to say what's up to you and let you know that I know T. So
Whatever, man. What it is again, it's just that you guys are such a movement that people recognize you, and like you people will turn their heads twice to be like, what's going? Here again. I say this to say this. I would say this if you were not here. You guys are a good-looking black family, pretty much well-behaved, mild-mannered family, and people are like impressed when they see you come through. Everybody's
Much appreciated,
well-kept.
T.
Their clothes
Yeah.
are always fresh to death.
Yeah.
Fab Five Mom is always looking
Always
spectacular. And then Marcus coming through looking like the Calm Cool Collective father.
man,
you guys are
I got to keep it inside. I got to keep my emotions down.
Sometimes you have to do
Yeah.
that, man. But you are a good reflection, I think, on an American black family, and people are really, taken aback when they see it. Sad to say. I don't know if that's sad to say or a
Right.
good thing to say, but they're like, hey, those folks are put together, man.
Much appreciated, man. And it's a thing for us, for me and my wife. We just trying to give the kids experiences, man. It's
Right.
not about a bunch of gifts and always spending a bunch of money, but it's
Right.
about experiences, man. It's something they can remember, and if they really enjoy it. And we do at times. We leave a trail,
Of destruction behind you.
trash and everything everywhere we go. But
It happened.
that's how it goes.
It happens. It
sometimes.
happens, man. Well, I
Yeah.
tell you this. I'm glad to have you back. Glad that you guys didn't get involved in any fisticuffs or any brawls down in
but-
Disneyland. Something
But we
did happen.
forgot about the earthquake we had out there, and then had one here.
Yeah,
What was down
man.
in
Is it-
Disney? I forgot about that.
Is it following you around?
I guess.
So you were there when that quake hit down there?
Well, we was in northern Cali, and we didn't really feel it, but
Right.
we were still in Cali. So
Right.
yeah, and I was kind of paranoid because they was talking about they closed down Disney and they took people off rides and all this kind
Oh,
of stuff.
yeah.
So
Oh, hell
I'm kind of going down, kind of sweating a little bit.
Yeah, like, I don't
And-
wanna- yeah.
Right, yeah. I don't want to run to it, but man, it worked out though.
It did work out.
Thank
and
you,
we
Jesus.
stayed here. We stayed here, and we all lived through our little earthquake up here,
Right.
man. Listen, my earthquake, the one that happened in Western Washington, this epicenter was like literally like at my house, like out in
Right.
Snohomish, right? And so it struck pretty close to 3:00 in the morning,
Right.
and I was dead asleep, right? I was dead asleep, and I thought for sure in my mind when I woke up in the morning, I'm looking at my text messages saying, "Did you feel the earthquake? Did this, that, and the third?" From everybody else from
Right.
around the country, and I'm like, "No, wait a minute." I do remember thunder last night shaking the house, and I'm like,
Wait.
"God damn it, it wasn't no thunder last night, boy. That was a full-on earthquake." So I'm tripping, right? I'm like, okay, now I do remember the house shaking, but I thought it was an earthquake. So listen, I get up and I go back in the back room, and my son TJ is knocked out asleep.
Right.
It's like 9:00 in the morning. I'm like, why is this dude still asleep? Right. So I go in there, I try to wake him up, and I'm like, "Did you feel the earthquake?" He doesn't say anything. Right. Come to find out, I go to his sister Trinity, and she's like, I was like, "Did you feel the earthquake?" She's like, "No." But TJ texted me at 3:00 in the morning. I'm like, what the hell is TJ doing texting you, of all people, at 3:00 in the morning? What did he say? And he said, I look at the text message, it says, "Trinity, there was an earthquake. Did you feel it? The bed shook." I'm like, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Long story short, he didn't go to sleep. When I put him to bed,
Scared.
he didn't go, no. When I put him to bed that night, he didn't go to sleep. He stayed up with that devil iPad that we just talked about.
There you go.
And was on the iPad
All
from
night.
the time I put him to bed
Damn.
until 3:00 in the morning when the earthquake hit. And he didn't bother to get up and come tell me.
Right.
He gonna
In a
go tell his
trance.
sister. Yeah.
In a trance from the iPad.
Yeah, man. So, yeah.
I barely felt it too. The one that was here, I was asleep too, but my wife woke me up and right in the middle of it. So I woke up and I was like, yeah, that's an earthquake. And I was,
That's
you
what that
know,
was.
and I'm kind of half asleep, so I didn't I didn't really have time to panic.
Right.
You know, if I was wide awake, I probably would have panicked, but I didn't. I just kind of laid there and, you know, and it wasn't like it was like a shake. It was kind of like a little, almost like, kind of like a wave.
How it did?
Flow. Yeah.
I wish I could see True in here doing the wave right now.
Yes, sir.
Rock. You look like rock the boat. Yeah, so we all survived. Thank God we all here today. We've had a couple of aftershocks since then, but we all here. We still standing. Everything is good. Even though we still standing, we know that we are right now in the dead, well, almost at the end of the boringest time to be a sports fan in the world.
Whatever happened to fun? God, I'm so bored I could die.
It is boring, but we're trying to make it exciting, man. True, I want to talk to you since this is the final week that the NFL players are free for the summer.
Yeah.
Next week, they start reporting to camp. Everything turns up. All the shenanigans, summertime shenanigans, off-season shenanigans go by the wayside. It's a good time for us as fans, but as players, it's something completely different. It turns into now we got to buckle down, get down to business. Everything becomes serious. It's time to go earn that paycheck. I want to talk to you as someone who spent 10 years in the National Football League about this time of year, this last final week of the summer before you report to camp. I can speak to it as someone who played college football at the University of Washington, what it was like when I knew my time was coming to report. But you, playing in the National Football League, what was it like for you that last week?
That last week, T, I never been to jail, right?
Allegedly.
But it was one of those things you felt like you was going away. It was like you was losing some of your freedoms, and that's really what it is. You got to leave your family. You got to leave everything behind. And, of course, I was blessed to be able to play in state, of course, where I was born and raised. But you got to go away, man. And it was like
back then, you guys had to go. You went to Eastern Washington back then.
Cheney, Washington. Right. Yep. And we did training camp out there. But it was one of those things where it was depressing, like that. Those days that was leading up to it, because it was like, man, I've been free, I've been able to kick it, and then in the back of my mind, I always thought, am I really in shape? Am I really ready to do this? I've been working out, but you know, I kind of been chilling.
Exactly.
I've been kicking it. I ain't been playing football, but so you go back, and then I mean, it's pretty much like riding a bike. You get right back into it. You see all your boys that you ain't seen in a while, and all the jokes and everything start, and it's fun, and it's back to football. But those days leading up to it is tough, man. It's a mind game. Like I said, it's like going away, man. It's like you're going away for a little bit.
You got to spend a little time locked down. Yeah, I know it. What they say back in the day when somebody would get locked up, like they went away to camp, or they went away to college or something. No, you're going to jail.
You got to go sit down for a while.
Sit down for a minute. But yeah, so and I know a lot of people out there, the average Joes that never, played at a high level. They look at, you elite athletes and they think, yeah, you guys are just, they just go in and show up. So what was it like during the summertime? Like, I know you kick it, you hang out, but you got to come into camp prepared. You can't just come into camp and get into shape in camp. You got to come prepared.
Oh, yeah. In general, you got to pretty much stay in shape all year round, because like I said, if you chill for too long, it's tough to get back in shape, and that's where the injuries come from and all that kind of stuff, and it's rough. A lot of people won't or don't know this story about me because you wasn't there, of course, but
we're gonna get it tonight.
But yeah, my rookie year when I was drafted 11th overall in the 2003 draft. So I was coming in. I was the first pick of that year for the Seahawks, and training camp comes. I've been training, doing my thing, and I'm ready to come into training camp. And I get to training camp, and everybody knows at the beginning of training camp you have your conditioning test.
Yes.
So I think at the time our conditioning test was 16-1-10.
Yes.
Sprints.
Yeah. Just so me lay it out here, because I know the 16-1-10.
Right.
Just so I can let everybody out there that's listening understand what this test was about. Basically, what happens is the length of the field from the one end zone to the other end zone is 110 yards, right?
Yeah.
And you have to run this 110 yards, and I think for skill position players, it was probably like 15 seconds.
Yeah, something like that.
15 seconds, 12 seconds, something like that. It was 15 seconds. And so you run the first one, 15 seconds timed, and then you get a break for like 30 seconds.
Right.
And then
but
you got to go
that,
again.
And then the linebacker group, the linebacker tight ends, and then it's the linemen at the end. So, so we did that 16 times. And so, I come out smooth. You know what I'm saying? Form is tight. I got a little arch in my back, kind of like that Michael Johnson.
I know what you're talking
Michael
about.
Jackson, not Michael Jackson.
You don't want that Michael Jackson
Johnson.
when you do
Michael Johnson. You make sure I get that right.
Yes,
but
sir.
so man, I get to about 8, 9. I'm like, man, my back is getting tight.
Hold on, True.
I broke my back.
What happened
What
to
do you
your
mean
back?
by that? You broke
Back is broken.
what? A vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
So that spinal jumped on you.
That spinal jumped on me, man, and it got tight and like, man, and we getting closer and closer, like to the end. But I'm like barely making my times now. I'm like, man, I've been training. I don't know what's wrong, man. Something ain't right. And they try to scare us and say if you don't pass the conditioning test, you got to do it again the next day. In Cheney, it's it felt like 120 days.
100 in hell.
So I get to about 12, 14. I'm coming in dead last, man, and and the coaches, I see them kind of huddling up. They're like, yeah, we just picked this dude in the first round, right?
Yeah.
And man, it's to the point like the last couple, they had to clap me in, bro.
Come on, True.
True, come on, and I'm like,
You got it.
I'm all arms, no legs though. I ain't covering no ground, but I'm digging in my mind. I'm all arms, and man, I finished, but should it just look bad, man? They had to clap me in, man. And I think I started coming in with the lineman. I thought I was gonna have to do it over the next day. But nobody said nothing.
Well, of course, they're not going to.
Nobody said nothing, and they just, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna
We
tell
just
you-
went into camp.
I'm
I
gonna tell
balled
you.
in camp, though.
I know, but see, that's the thing. So there's a couple
Right.
things I actually wanted to talk to you tonight about testing when you
All
come
right.
into camp. And it's just oddly enough, you brought it up.
Right.
But that's the thing. So first of all, testing, that's a good that they do it. I think just to get a gauge of what you have been doing.
Right.
But ball is ball.
Yes.
Ball is ball. Football is football, and
It's true.
of course you want to be in shape. You want to be in the best shape you want to be in. But sometimes that doesn't translate into stuff that you do on the field.
Right.
For number one, number two, we talked about this on one of our earlier shows, and it was when we were discussing different players and the leeway that certain players get
Oh, my goodness.
on a team. You don't gotta
Right,
feel bad
yeah.
about it. You got to accept it as
Right.
it is. There's some players that come in and they get certain leeways because they have different abilities than
Right.
everybody else.
That's true.
For instance, I actually made my 16 110s when I
Okay.
did them in college. I made
Okay.
mine barely, but I know people who didn't. And it was tough. It was a tough deal. So people who didn't, you really did have to do it
Do it over.
every day
Until you pass.
until you pass. And sometimes they would make guys do it before. It was the good old days of two-a-days. And sometimes guys would have to do it before practice, the morning practice, and before the afternoon practice. And that was killer.
Yeah.
Me, my freshman year, we used to test the mile. Used to have to run the mile. So we did the 16 100s, 110s, and we also tested for the mile. And
Two
I could-
different tests?
Yeah.
Come on.
And I could never do the mile.
Right.
I was not good. First of all, I'm
Right.
short.
Yeah.
I got short
They
legs.
couldn't make
don't-
that curve,
they
come around
don't-
that
yeah,
curve.
coming around the curve was never my strong suit. And I'm a sprinter. I was
Right.
always a sprinter. But so first year I didn't make it. And they made you run before practice, before two-a-days.
Yeah.
And I told myself, there's no way in hell I'm doing this more than one day.
Right.
So I just pushed myself to the limit that day and ran all
Almost
out.
killed
on the
yourself.
mile.
trying
I
to make the
almost
mile.
killed myself.
Had to make it in what time as a running back?
I can't even remember. I think it was like 6:30 or something stupid like that. But it was moving. It was moving too fast that I wanted to go. But I just the 16 110s I did pass it. I've seen a lot of people pass out on that thing.
Right.
So did you never see anybody else have to do it over?
I did. I just, I didn't see myself as one of those guys. So. I was never a guy that had to be clapped in, but that was my
That
first
was your one.
experience.
Now you know. Now everybody knows.
Now
Y'all-
everybody knows.
Y'all keep that a secret, man. Don't tell anybody that Marcus. It was his rookie year. Give him a little leeway, man. Cut him some slack. All right. I know that's coming up next weekend. Pro football is coming up. That means college football is not too far around the corner as well. This past weekend, though, you had an opportunity to go out there and spend some time with the youth football players out of Tacoma, Washington. Actually, the camp actually took place in Tacoma,
Right.
but you had players from all over that showed up and were involved in the Desmond Trufant football camp this past weekend. And I saw some pictures and some videos of the things that you guys were doing out there. Tell us what was going on out there this past weekend as you guys were getting down, man.
It was pretty amazing, man. Just the turnout of kids, parents, everybody involved, and just the community, man, down in Tacoma. Sometimes I feel like we get forgotten a little bit down there. But
Seattle's little brother.
Yeah. And it's kind of been like that for a long time. But it was great turnout. Of course, you had Desmond there, and it was his camp.
Right.
This is the 5th year, I think, that he's done this camp down in Tacoma. And it's free. It's free to all the kids. So I was there. Isaiah was there. My other brother, Xavier Cooper, was there. Robert Alford, the corner that used to play with Des, who now plays for the Arizona Cardinals. J.D. McKissick was there. So, yeah, man, it was a good turnout. Lots of a competition. Des gave shoes to everybody that participated. You know what I'm saying? So that shout out to Adidas, man. He had Papa John's catered the thing, man, gave a bunch of pizza and stuff like that. But it was great, man. They had kids there from 5th grade to 8th grade, and then you had the 9th grade all the way up to the seniors, and just these crazy 7-on-7s and 1-on-1. So you know how kids do the 7-on-7 now.
That's big.
Yeah,
it's big. It's
that's
huge.
a real ball out there. So a lot of athleticism, man. It's crazy to kind of go back to that time and remember doing all that stuff, man. But it was a great turnout, and I can't wait for the next one.
It's awesome to see you guys do this type of thing. When I was growing up, and I'm pretty sure the same thing when you were growing up too, there weren't a lot of stuff, camps like this. There wasn't anything like this where I lived, the places that I lived. There were no professional athletes that came back and gave back to the community and imparted the knowledge that they had on the young kids in the area. And I think that would have been just so huge and monumental for so many people to just see some of their favorite athletes right there at arm's length and be able to reach out and touch them and talk to them and get that knowledge from them. And, looking at all the things that you guys are doing, especially Des, and giving kids shoes and pizza and that experience, it makes me want to show up next year and get involved. But I want some shoes too. True.
You put one of them jerseys on, you can fit in. You can fit in.
I can squeeze in. It might not look right, but but the way they make these kids today, man, some of them are my size anyway.
Oh my goodness, man! Some of these boys is moving, man. They look like LeBron out there. These tall receivers that's athletic, can run and jump and do it all. So it's tough, man. The era of being a smaller, quick DB is kind of tough.
Yeah,
it's kind of tough. You kind of got to match, I guess, fire with fire, and you kind of got to be that build. But man, just like I said, a lot of talent was out there, and it was good to see the young kids out there.
Yeah.
It was good to see the little kids out there mixing it up because, a lot of kids are playing the same sport all year round, whether it be basketball or baseball or anything like that. So it's good to see, the turnout that we had because a lot of kids are doing other sports.
Right on. Well, shout out to Des for putting on this camp like he does every single year. We're looking forward to it next year. Speaking of Des, though, True, I know, like we said, football camp is coming up for these guys right around the corner, but I saw something online. And you actually posted a little bit about it, and I wanted to get your feedback right here tonight in front of the entire barbershop, man. Des, in his new Adidas sponsorship, representing the new University of Washington Husky purple uniforms and the new Adidas sponsorship for the school. What do you think about that, man? The new uniforms, they got Des out there representing the purple.
Right.
You seem like a fan of
that purple stuff.
Gotta get some of that purple stuff, baby.
Well, I like it, man. I like the business move that Adidas is doing. Of course, they of course trying to corner the market. They are kind of hot right now.
3-stripe life.
Yeah. Shoes. I got on the 3 stripes now. So you know what I'm saying. But I still do Nike. So if you out there, Nike.
Yeah, just in case you got some of that Nike laying around, baby.
But yeah, man, it's one of those things, man. They kind of go I think it's gonna go in waves. Back when I was playing at Washington State, I know you can't even guess what our jerseys was.
What was it? I don't even know. Champion.
Russell Athletic gear. Everything was
man.
Russell. Jerseys was Russell. Russell.
You get this though. Hold
Our-
on, man.
I
gotta give you one of those.
Man, the sweatsuits we was wearing every day, but I think Adidas coming in, I think it could be a good look, man. And the purple, I think it looked kind of cool, man. I might have to sneak and go get me
Get you a little sign,
a little
son?
jersey,
Yeah.
man.
I mean,
yeah.
I might need one. I need a
Right.
purple 6 jersey too, since me and Dad share that same number, man. I gotta say, man, when I came to the University of Washington, we were Converse.
What?
We were Converse. Yeah, they were Converse. When I was getting recruited by them, it was and not just they were Converse Cons, man. These big clunky ass Converse Cons, and I think the jerseys might have been Russell, but the shoes were Con.
Okay.
And it was just an ugly, terrible. I mean, that part was not fresh. And then we got the Nike contract, and then things started to pick up a little bit. And Nike kind of got, they got comfortable, man. I think with Washington, man, they got, Oregon is right down the street,
Right,
And
right.
Oregon is really where, the lifeblood of Nike is. That's where the headquarters is. That's where the founder came from, the University of Oregon. That's where they pump a lot of money into that school, into that program. And so when UW was calling up and asking for, can we get some shoes? Can we get some service? Can we get some socks? Whatever. And I'm not too sure. Our hands are tied. Our hands are tied. So they went on to Adidas. And like you said, Adidas is now, it has turned into the brand of the youth. And I think the young kids are really getting involved with this Nike movement. And I think it's going to be a good look for the Huskies. And I think Dez looked really good, man, in that purple jersey online. I think you got it posted on your Twitter page, man. So
At Marcus Trufant, check me out.
Go check him out. Go check him out. College football is right around the corner. You guys make sure you stay tuned to the Barbershop Show because True and I will definitely be talking that college football, particularly the Pac-12, particularly the Huskies and the Cougars. And it should be a hell of a year. I'm looking to some fireworks happening in college football this year. Right now, though, something that just happened in the last day as of recording this show is the death of one of the greats in boxing, Pernell Whitaker. Sweet Pea Whitaker was killed Sunday night after he was hit by a car in Virginia Beach. And he was only 55 years old. And it's really a tragedy. He was one of the all-time greats when it comes to boxing. I think, you think about the early 80s and even the early 90s, he was considered one of the best of all time. He's won world titles in 4 different divisions. And I think he's the only person to have done that. Lightweight, light welterweight, and light middleweight. And he was actually inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame back in 2006. And he's considered by most experts in the game one of the all-time greatest defensive boxers and one of the all-time greatest boxers of all time. And it's really a tragedy with this happening. True. You have any thoughts on Sweet Pea, man, and just this tragedy that just happened?
Yeah, man, it's a tragedy anytime that anyone loses their life. Of course, I don't have all the details. Was he hit by a drunk driver or
no? And so that's the thing. That's the craziest thing. So there's probably going to be some more stuff to come out through this investigation. But as of now, the driver was there, stayed on scene, was not arrested, was not charged, was not intoxicated, not drunk, no drugs.
Probably text messaging.
They didn't even said that yet.
Okay.
They just said it was no fault. They said he was in an area where there normally wasn't a lot of foot traffic. It wasn't a place where there were nightclubs, and so it's just a little bit of mystery surrounding this accident right now.
Yeah, tough, man. Too soon at 55. He was a little bit before my time. Of course, I know exactly who he is, but how I know him, and I mean, I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I know him from the video games, man.
Mm-hmm.
I used to play. What was it called? I forgot what it's called, but the little boxing game.
It wasn't on Nintendo?
It had all the legends on there. I think it was on the Fight Night.
Okay.
Fight Night. And, and my brothers and them, they always used to pick Sweet Pea. Quick and had the defense. Yeah, so, man, it's just crazy just to just to see stuff like that online, man, at people you grew up with and you grew up knowing exactly who they were and as you knew a little bit of history about them. And, I mean, it just makes you feel kind of old. It just makes you feel like things
Really
are changing,
does.
man. It's just a crazy kind of feeling, man. It's crazy. It's heavy. I guess you think about all the stars and everything that goes with it. Of course, we grew up on Michael Jackson and Prince and Whitney and all these other
Right.
people, and things
all
just
gone.
changing, man. And
They're all gone.
I seen something. What was it? My guy from the Patriots. That was the big boy.
Bruschi, Teddy Bruschi.
No. I'm not talking about Bruschi. The big D lineman that was in the middle. That played with the Patriots for a long time. He got a big contract. Went to Hainsworth.
Albert Hainsworth. Yeah, that's
yeah.
right. He was recently hospitalized with
Yep.
some serious health
I
issues.
think he's trying to get like a liver transplant
Yeah,
or some type
kidney
of
or something like
transplant.
that, yeah.
Shoot, and can't get it. So time just flies by, man. So everybody out there, try to take care of yourself if you can, man. Be
Man.
safe and
You are
man,
hitting the
be
nail.
cool, bro.
You're hitting the nail on the head, man. And then, not to really, drag us down into that gutter, but it is. I mean, as we get older, we're finding out, lots of people are having problems with their health, and just in the past couple of weeks, I've just seen so many people falling off. And I alluded to Teddy Bruschi earlier.
Mm-hmm.
He had a stroke last
yeah?
week. Yeah, he had a stroke, and I think it was his second one. He had one as he was ending his career, and he's recovering now from it. And they're pretty keeping everything close to the chest. But shout out to Teddy. He's played at Arizona around my era, so and he was a teammate of a good friend of mine, Lori Malloy's, for a long time as well. So as we get older, man, we watching things happen to people, and it seems like it's happening more frequently. This past weekend, a Husky football legend, Mark Goudreau, a guy that a lot of Husky fans will recognize and remember that name, died. I guess he was found on the street in Newcastle.
Damn.
With a head injury, and he succumbed to his head injury. And there's some questions about that right now, and I think they're digging into it. But this just happened a couple days ago, and he was a guy that played just a few years before me as well. So I want to send my condolences to Mark's family, his girlfriend, and all his friends and people who love that guy too. So yeah, it's a lot of heavy stuff going on out there, True. So I kind of let's get off this heavy stuff.
Get out of it. Get
Let's
out of
get
it.
off
Get
this
out of
heavy
there.
stuff.
Yeah.
There's something that's been trending online the last couple of days, and I'm not sure if you've seen it or not, but it's kind of weird, and I think we'd have some appropriate music for it, man. Area 51. Area 51 is trending online, True, and I was confused as to why. Every time I go online, and I see, of course, on top is Trump. Every day, Trump. But right underneath it, Area 51. And I'm like, why is Area 51 trending? Now, are you familiar with Area 51, first of all, True?
Area 51 is a real place?
It's allegedly a real place.
I done seen it in the movies and the Man in Black type of feel and stuff like that. But I know a little bit about it. I don't know much, but
Yeah. Well, allegedly, Area 51 is a place out in the Nevada desert.
Okay.
It's a place that's kept very secretive and very clandestine, and it's where they say the American government is keeping proof of alien life. That's where they're keeping a spaceship.
1,000 miles underground or something like that,
all
right?
that in bunkers, and and it's just all their evidence of life from other planets, including extraterrestrial beings, spaceships, and all kind of good stuff like that, right? So that's where they say it is, man. So I was like wondering, why in the world would this be trending right now?
Right.
And here's the reason why. First of all, do you know the reason why?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, let's discuss. Let's dive into it and figure out why we're doing it. As I'm getting ready for the show tonight, and saying, why would anybody be talking about Area 51? Online, several weeks ago, there began this movement, this idea, this concept, where they said, we're going to arrange a date, and we want 1 million people to meet at Area 51. And what we're going to do is bum rush the doors We're going to bum rush the gates at Area 51. And they can't stop us all. They can't stop us all.
All right.
So here's the thing. This is what they said. They were going to go down to Area 51, and all the people who signed up for this, the number of people on Facebook who signed up for this group exceeded 1 million people. So what they said they wanted to do is rush the gates in Naruto style. Do you know what Naruto style is?
Naruto?
Naruto.
No, I have
They
no
want
clue.
to do a Naruto run towards the facilities, which is a reference to Naruto Uzumaki, a Japanese anime character who runs with his chest pointing forward and his arms pointing straight backwards behind him. And the people who invented this movement and this whole thing said that there's no way that the shooters and the snipers and the guards
can get everybody. They can't get us all.
They can't get us all. And we're going to eventually get into this place called Area 51 and know for a fact that there are aliens. Sound crazy?
A little bit.
You think they're serious?
When they supposed to go, I might sign up. You got me with the
September
music.
20th.
September 20th.
September 20th. And if you think it's a joke, there is a lady who is in, she runs an inn by the name of Connie West. Her name is Connie West. She co-owns a place called Little Alien out in the area of Alamo, Nevada, close to Area 51, about 26 miles from there. And her place is booked solid
Around that time
for people coming to rush the gates.
I guess we're going to find out. Are we going to find out if all this is real? If they really going to bum rush the gates, I mean, 90% of them going to be dead before they get to the door. But
somebody going to see.
Somebody going to get through.
And they're going to take a picture with their little sound camera phone.
And they're going to go live. They're going to go live while they running the Naruto. The Naruto forum.
Naruto. You going through with that Naruto. Here's the thing, though. So even if you did break through there, you were one of the ones that broke through, and you get in to see the aliens, and you take the picture. First of all, I'm absolutely positively sure that if they have alien technology on hand, first of all, they could take everybody out. Number one. Number two, if you got some evidence and you live streaming it, I'm sure they got some way to block your live stream from getting out. The aliens.
Hey, you can't silence the media, brother.
You can't silence the aliens either. if they got your stuff, man, it's a wrap.
Maybe the aliens ain't as, you know what I'm saying, as smart as they think.
Come on, true.
So you're saying all the moves, the aliens supposed to be this, have all this technology, and maybe it's backwards and we got it. Maybe it's flipped and they just trying to keep us locked down in this bubble to where we can be confused and misconstrued.
Trying to suppress us?
Yep.
You see, now you sound like one of them, man. You sound like one of them kooks, man. You sound like a cuckoo. Listen, hey, so that's the thing, True. So do you believe? Let's just get straight to it, man. Got the X-File music going.
Right. You put me.
Everybody, if you listening to this now and it's dark, where you are, it's late at night, and you hear a noise in the other room, don't fear. It's just True. Hide in the corner. True. Eating your chips and cookies. But no, for real though. Do you believe in aliens? First of all, do you believe in aliens?
What is classified as an alien?
I was about to say something. Some words was about to come out of my mouth that shouldn't have come out on the podcast. Boy, what do you mean?
So
an alien
like
from outer space, extraterrestrial life forms, not humanoid, not of this earth.
It's got to be something out there. It's got to be, T.
I think it is. It's got to be something.
I found myself, I was watching something on the Nature show or the Natural Geographic, whatever it was, and it was showing the first trip to Saturn that the U.S. took, and it was pretty heavy, man. It was over the weekend. I had enjoyed a couple adult beverages. I don't know if that skewed my view or not, but it was pretty heavy, man. It was pretty deep, and to all these rocks and everything, and the pictures and all this stuff, and the pictures from space or what everything was looking like. It's crazy, man. It's got to be something there, T.
You know what? I agree.
It can't just be us.
It can't
T.
be us. I mean, space is limitless. It goes on the concept of space is just so mind-boggling to me. I mean, we've had satellites and things that have been traveling out, space robots that have been traveling out since the 70s and are still going. You know what I'm saying? Millions and millions and millions of miles from the Earth, light years from the Earth, and in all that space and all those stars and all
ain't
those
nobody
planets,
out there,
ain't
T?
not one person
Come
out
on.
there. I think maybe in the vastness that is the universe, that there has to be something out there. But is it in Nevada? Is it at Area 51? Are these people going to see it come September 20th?
I bet we're going to find out with the Naruto.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
No?
No.
You don't think nothing?
It's not gonna happen. True. I got to tell you this. Since we were talking about, this kind of crazy situation where people are really planning on going out there and rushing the gates, this to me struck as a blank stare news type of thing. Wouldn't you agree? This is kind of a blank stare type of thing.
I would agree.
A million people trying to rush and see some aliens.
I would agree.
And you saw actually how you learned about it was Ha Ha Davis, the comedian online.
Ha Davis put on a mask and ran out the door. Was like, man, I'm going to Area 51.
Yeah. People are talking about doing something
aliens.
weird and wacky to these aliens, man. But I think it's
Wait. Are people talking about doing what?
the nasty.
Nah, come on, T.
Yeah, people talking about, man.
They didn't say that.
I read online, people like, we're gonna rush the gates.
They trying to have some mixed kids.
They said they thinking they believe aliens not only got big heads, but they got big booties.
Damn.
And gonna be some attractive.
Are they thick?
They said the aliens got that slim thick.
They dumb thick. I didn't know that.
Man. You never know, man. But it was a blank stare news, man. So to end the show, I wanted to hit you with one official blank stare news item. So to prepare everybody for the blank stare, and I know you guys know what a blank stare news item is. It's something that you might have heard throughout the course of the week, whether it be at work or you read it online, and it caused you to have that blank stare look come across your face. And in the background, you heard the music just kind of going off like this. That's a blank stare news, man. And True, I want to ask you, are you familiar with Moana?
Moana, the cartoon, right?
Whatever you might want to call it. Are you familiar with Moana?
Moana, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I want to take you to a story
All right.
that comes out of South Georgia.
All right.
When it comes to this lady's affection with Moana and wanting to celebrate her birthday with Moana. So, with no further ado, here's a story about Moana.
Kensley Davis is a huge fan of Disney's animated movie Moana. When her mother ordered a cake for her celebration, they were surprised to see this cake decorated with a marijuana design. Kensley Davis could not help but laugh when she thought about her birthday cake this year. The 25-year-old's mother ordered a Moana-inspired cake, but found it showed some green leafy marijuana instead.
I think they thought that she said marijuana because we're from South Georgia. We kind of have an accent, so Moana, marijuana.
She says her mother ordered the cake for her from the Dairy Queen in Milledgeville. She's gotten a cake from this location for more than 10 years. Davis believes the employee made an honest mistake.
I guess when they said that I love cartoons, they were like, well, let's just throw a little pony on there. So they put the little pony on there, and it had red eyes, and it was smoking a joint with a tramp stamp of a pot leaf on its bottom.
But that didn't stop her from eating it.
It did not stop her from eating it, True.
Oh, hell no, hell no.
She got high.
No, so it was. So listen, that's when I heard it, I was like, how in the hell? Is it even possible to mistake a Moana cake for a marijuana cake? And then I started going into my Southern drawl because I got Southern ties, right?
Yeah,
and I'm thinking
from down that way,
I've been
down bottom.
Yeah, down at the bottom. I started talking like one of them again. I was like, oh, that's how they got it. They was like, oh, I want a marijuana cake. Give me some of that marijuana cake. I want a marijuana on it. You want what?
It had a green leafy substance on the cake.
And I like cartoons, and it had and the doggone My Little Pony had red eyes and was smoking a joint.
Imagine if that would have been for a little kid, though.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I thought about.
So it's an honest mistake now because it was folks that's of age. But imagine if that's a little baby, they're going to be a little upset.
Would have been really funny. I don't know. If they'd actually put some Moana in the cake.
An edible cake. In Washington, they could do that out here.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, you'd be like, man, last year for my birthday, I had some Moana cookies. This year, I went and got a Moana cake. A whole cake of Moana.
Whole cake of Moana. And my eyes matched the pony after I was done with
Sometimes when I come home from work, Drew, it's been a long day, I just kick my feet up on the couch and just enjoy some Moana.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little Moana
from the earth.
From now and again, right?
From the earth.
Look, Moana is from the islands. Moana is, I get that tropical Moana.
It's a difference.
It's
just different.
So that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call a blank stare news. True.
What's up, bro?
Have you ever had like a mistake like that just, I mean, something that just showed up, you was like, that's not really what I wanted. That's not what I ordered.
Not like that, but
I'm going to eat it anyways. I'm going to take it anyways.
But it can easily happen.
You can see.
Yeah. I'm not too picky with my food. I know some people, they got to have their extra onions. I got to have none of this and none of that. And that's how my wife is. That's what I'm saying.
I hope she just hope she listens.
I can't order nothing. Then if it don't come back exactly how it is, it's like I can't eat it. But I'm not like that. I could almost eat anything. So I would enjoy some Moana.
You're going to enjoy that Moana cakes. Anybody out there that wants to make a Moana cake, just understand that Marcus will eat it and take it as it is right now. Moana cake, Moana cookies.
Everything.
It's from the earth.
Hey. And it's that tropical stuff.
It's right. That's right. Hey, we want to say thank you guys for joining us again for another Barbershop Show. We appreciate you. Every single week, we're going to be here at the same place at the same time. But until then, you can catch us on social media. True, where can they find us?
They can find us on Twitter at the Barbershop Show _, and on Instagram at Barbershop Show.
That's right. And also on our own personal Twitters. My name is Terry Holloman, TerryHollimon at Twitter. And of course, that's Marcus Trufant. You know how to spell his name at Twitter as well. So until next week, when you catch us here at the same place at the same time, it's T Holla, Marcus Trufant. You can catch it only here in the Barbershop.
Drop 6, made $250,000 in the pen, getting stock tips. Haters wanna stop till, mad cause they not till. Ball every summer, so your baby mama job.